over, yep, over, yep, over, yep, over, yep, and stop. Good girl, go pet her. So now our goal is going to be to get more where the saddle, okay, and see if we can more here and ask for the over and not need to drag the line down and see if you can ask her to do it by just seeing if you can bend her head a little bit. So how we would do that, you may not need, just use the word over for now, but you may not need to be able to, you won't be able to snap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ask her as if I was going to run it down her rump again, say over. Right? So we're going to say over. For the tension, over, over, over. Now she needs a little more support. We're not going to leave her hanging too long, so over, 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 over. She sees I'm here, so she's a little worried that she shouldn't be able to do that. Good girl. See how quickly I said, you're right. And I'm doing it you want to jump for joy because she did. Oh my gosh, we need to be quiet, but this is just enough of you're right. Okay? So I'm going to ask her one more time just so she can get it from this position. Over. Over. Yep. Over. Now I'm going to tell her yep, because when she turns her head, she tells me she's thinking about it, okay? Over. Yep. Yep. Over. Good. I'm going to let her have that. I don't want her to think it's a backup again. Over. Yep. Over. I'm going to let it touch her on this cheek, because this cheek is what's going to help her. Good. And I'm going to let her go around. Okay? Good. So let's see if you can do that. Oh, good girl. Yep. Good girl. Wait till she brings her legs. Good. Good. And then just as fast as you can say, good job, without jumping for joy. Good. We'll do that again. Yep. Good. She told you right away. Ooh, I get this. Be ready to step out of the way so that she can. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Over. 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 Yep, there you go. Up, up, up. There you go. Good. Good. She got a little worried because she got a little scared because she had to go by you kind of close. So she wasn't sure she was going to be in trouble for that. That's the only thing that happened there. Okay, we'll do one more. And then we're going to give her a mental breakaway from this. As soon as she tips her head, you're going to say, yep, because that's your way of acknowledging her effort to think about what you want. So as soon as she turns her head around, she's telling you, I know what you want. And then you're just going to let her know by assuring her, yep, you're right, yep, yep. If she turns her head the wrong way, you're going to say, nope, right? So you want to let her know it's kind of like hotter and colder, okay? So go ahead. Yep. Good. Over. Over. Keep going. Over. 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 Yep. Yep. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Good. So we're going to give her a break from that because all of those crossing overs were a little hard for her to figure out. What are we doing for time? Do we know?
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, it's 3:44.
And
She started at 3.
3.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I think it's been on the dots.
Okay, so now we're going to help her in lunging. And we're going to make it a little more interesting, okay? And I'm going to make it a little more lazy for you because you probably feel like it's a very active thing for you. Come on, keep going, right? We don't want that. We want to be able to go like this. And until you tell her to do something different, she just keeps going. She's not going to know that today, but we're going to help her learn it. Okay, so let's give her a little more space. You are going to get to the middle there. Just take her with you. Yep. Yep. She's a good pony. Okay, good. Oh. Okay, now you're going to look at her. You're going to back her away. Same thing. Back her away the way you did before. Good. And then go quiet if you can. So you're going to keep asking her to back away, but you're going to take it down. So imagine that the snap is a 5. We're going to want to try to go back to a 2, but we're not going to stop because we don't want her to stop. So we're just going to try to be like, but I can ask you really quiet if you just do it. But, oh, you don't want to? So you might even have to oscillate and go, wait, I said, oh, okay, wait, right? Okay. Good? Yep. Yep. There you go. Good. And if she starts backing up, just go slower so that she knows to stay going, but she doesn't need you to be in her face. Yep. And if she slows back down, take it back up. You know, you're just going to keep turning the volume up and down, up and down, up and down. There you go. See if you can go down a notch. Nope. Take it back up. Take it better. Like, hey, I'm not done. Good. Good. I'm going to get you the stick only because I want to have you be able to support her. Yep, yep. You didn't tell her to go anywhere, so good. So that kind of wrong answer, in her case, it was a wrong answer because she was trying to be good by coming back to you. Sometimes the wrong answer is them just like, if she had suddenly just started, all right, well, then I'm going to go over here, then you would have gotten loud because you didn't tell her to move. So then the wrong answer needs to be uncomfortable. If she decides to do her own thing, that needs to be uncomfortable. If she does the right thing, it's the same, come alive. When she does the right thing, we go relaxed. Your body will tell her that you approve of things that she's doing. Okay, you're going to point. Now, when you tell a horse to go that way or that way, right, the logical thing is you're going to point off to your side, right? That's not logical to a horse. And you want her to go like this and go out on the circle, right? You don't want her to come in here. Hey, how you doing? Right? You don't want her doing that, right? You want her to know, stay out on that circle. So the best way to teach her to go out on the circle is to point at me with the other hand. Your leading hand is the hand that can make the horse go the farthest. If I want her to go this way, this wouldn't be the hand to use, right? Because this hand can tell her to go the farthest. So if you were to tell her to go the other way, you would need to change hands, right? So why don't we'll tell her to go that way. We'll tell her to go that way. So what you're going to do is you're going to come alive. You're going to point. You're going to point in this case. Yeah, you're right. You're going to point to about me. So you kind of imagine like you know those orange cones? Imagine that you put an orange cone between you and her and you're going to point to the farthest point of that orange cone, but nothing wider than that, okay? So you're going to point, come alive, say, I'd like you to go that way. Does she have a cue that means walk? Okay, so if you're open to it, I do 1 kiss for go or walk. It does not mean back up ever, so I don't kiss for back up. I do 2 kisses for trot and 4 kisses for canter. When I do this, I'm going to go ahead and raise my stick. I'm going to kiss, and if she doesn't go, I'm not going to swing it at her butt. I'm going to swing it at her shoulder. And I'm going to just keep getting closer and closer, kind of like a hotter or colder game. And then if she doesn't move, I'm going to start letting it touch her shoulder. Once she moves, my stick goes quiet, my hand goes in neutral, and I just let her go. Chances are, she'll go, is that enough? Okay. Thank you for checking in. Could you please go again? So every time she stops, you pick your send spot again. Don't get mad at her. She doesn't know what you want. No, you want to do 15 laps. They don't know you want to do 2 laps. They're going to ask you. You want her to keep asking you. You want her to be like, is that enough? Is that enough? And then eventually she's going to be like, all right, when do you tell me? Right? You want a horse to look at you when they're on the circle. You don't want a horse looking out. When they're looking out, they are so disengaged, it's not even funny. Most horses you watch lunge or even in a round pen will look out unless they've got a good connection with their person. Your goal is to have her always looking at you. In fact, there's going to be a day where you're going to have her going like this. So what do you want me to do? Okay, and then you can tell her to go out and come in and go out and come in. There's going to be so many cool things you can do once you have the language. So go ahead and ask her to, if your body comes alive, point the direction you want her to go, raise the stick, kiss, start swinging it towards her shoulder. Make sure you're going for her shoulder, not her face. Yep. Kiss again. Good. Leave her alone. Go neutral. Horses will stop behind you because the less pressure is behind them. Imagine that you have a giant megaphone coming out of your center here. Okay? As soon as she gets behind you, she's going to be like, I don't have to listen to that anymore. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just going to nicely turn and say, keep going. Go neutral again. She may stop behind you again. That's okay. Thank you for stopping. Okay? So you're just going to keep saying, when I tell you, and then once she, let's just say we finally get her to where she's like, a couple times she's, and then she finally picks up a good, that's when we're going to stop her and tell her, you're right. Because if we give her the knowledge that there is an end, she'll wait for you to tell her, and she'll also be engaged enough to say, when is it? Okay? But if we send her out in a circle and we just do this and this and this, and we never tell her that there really is an end, she's going to resent you a lot. Okay? So go ahead and say, thank you for checking in. You don't have to actually say it. Just think it. Thank you for checking in. I'd like you to go again. When she leaves, leave her alone. Everything goes neutral. She'll probably stop behind you again, and that's okay. You'll say, thank you for checking in. Pass the rope behind your back. When she looks at you, you're going to gently bump the line. You're not going to be rude about it, because if she looks at you, you don't ever want to punish her for looking at you. And you're going to look at her tail like a butterfly had just landed in her tail. And you're going to ask her to disengage her hind end away from you. Kind of what we just did. She's not going to know it, so we're not going to make her wrong for it. You can even bring her in if you have to, but if we can get her to stay out there and disengage out on the circle, that's what we're going to want. Try not to make the tension seem like you're pulling her, because she may come in as a result of that. So she checked in. We didn't ask her to, so we're going to say, thank you for checking in. I'd like you to keep going. Good. Now, ask her to stop. You're going to bump her like you're stabbing your belly button with the back of your hand. And you're going to, now you can turn and look at her. So she's getting a little worried. That's okay. I didn't. So when you turn, you're going to turn like you're looking, you're going to turn towards her tail now to ask her tail to disengage. And wiggle so she stays there. Wiggle. So she did ask, she did think. Good. Now. So you're okay when you're ready to tell them to stop. You're okay to become alive and be like, hey, I'd like you to stop. But what I do is I take the line. I'm going to have you hold the end of the popper real tight, because I'm going to bump you, not her. I go, okay? That's my way of saying, hey, I'm going to tell you to do something different, okay? So I'll do this and I'll look at her tail. Like, hey, I'm going to tell you to do something different. I don't bang on her. I don't try to make the smack her in the face. I'm going to tell you to do something different, okay? So that's what you're going to do. Now, we're going to give her a break for a second. Stay relaxed. Let her think, ooh, that's not so bad. Then you're going to ask her to come in, okay? But we want her to always believe she's out here for further notice. Then you're going to smile, bring her back in, tell her that's far enough, pet her, go to her. Anytime a horse grooms on you, it's being dominant to you. The dominant horse of any herd is the only one that's allowed to groom on everybody, but nobody's allowed to groom on him unless he comes over and grooms first. Okay? So never think when a horse is all up on you that that's sweet. That's actually dominant. Okay. Turn, smile at her, invite her to you. Good. Now go pet her. You seemed a little uncertain, so that's why she took that. I think you were like debating if you asked her to come far enough, and she kind of did too. She's like, oh. because she learned that line thing, and we didn't have a line, so good. So you know how, like, I read you, so does she, okay? And you got to kind of like realize, ooh, what am I thinking and why is she acting the way she's acting? It might be because she was picking up on my indecision. I didn't know. So when she was like, oh, she didn't know either. Okay. So you're going to ask her to back away? Back up is straight. They always back up straight if they back up true. Good. Allow her to take that line from you. So as she backs up, just you don't have to feed it out. Allow her to just pull it. Just keep wiggling, but keep your hand open. She'll be able to take that line from you. Never allow a drag on the line when you want them to take it. Okay? Ask her to go. Yep. Ask her to back up. Yep. Good. And then go as quiet as you can, but still asking her to back up. Then turn the volume back up. Say, hey, I'm not done. Yep. Good. Now relax. Take that last step, and then you're going to go completely neutral. Even take a little bit of an aggressive step towards her, like, hey, I said. Good. And then go neutral. She might even lick and chew because that was a lot more intense than it had been. So pick your direction. I would say choose the same direction. Let's only work on one side for right now. You can. Now be careful when you bend down. She's going to come to you because that's the invite, right? So you kind of got to communicate to her. Good. You can try it without the stick. You can try swinging just the end of the line. You know, like take, say, 10, 12 inches out of the end of the line and just turn it into a fan. You could try that. So go ahead and point where you want her to go. Oh, with the rope. You're going to use your leading hand telling her where to go. Nope. Yep. And then you're going to hold the other little piece. Yep. There you go. Yep. Have enough. Yep. There you go. Don't you move. Don't you move because you're confusing her. Yep. Just point where you want her to go. She got lost because you stopped telling her. So we might need the stick. No, you don't. Okay, that's okay. Anytime you stop what you're asking for, you're telling her she did the right thing. So if you stop what you're asking for, then you told her just standing there and staring at you is the right thing. Okay? So now we know we need a little support still for a little while. Good. Leave her alone. Raise your hand. Good. So that way you said, thank you for checking in. I'm glad you didn't stop, but no, I'm not ready for you to come in yet. And that was a nice way to tell her, no, I'm glad you looked at me, but we're still going. But now, when she gets past that place where she was asking, I'm going to tell her, yes, you can stop. So give a bump towards your belly button. Look at her tail. Give a bump towards your belly button. You can look at her. You don't have to keep your feet still now. You can just turn in a little pivot. Bump, bump, bump. Look at her tail. Bump, bump, bump. Look at her tail. Bump, bump, bump. Kind of look at her tail. Looking at her tail. Keep there.
Smile.
Invite her in. Good. Go ahead and pet her. So now let's just say that you wanted to do it in all the gaits. Every time you do something new with your horse, even if you think they're supposed to understand, assume they don't understand and let them go to kindergarten first, right? Let them learn that there's an A on this block and a B on this block, you know, and now we're going to build a sentence. We got to be able to give them the benefit of the doubt, but also we've got to be able to trust that they don't know and that we're here as a good teacher, okay? I would say she's done. You can, what I would do is say you wanted to ask her to trot instead, now in addition, when you ask her to trot, make it a different cue. So like I said, I kiss twice. So now instead of one kiss, which is go, the second for trot, I put my hand back up, kiss twice, and then I'll keep kissing twice till that trot gets picked up. Same as the over, over. Anytime you want to teach them what something means, you do it repetitively. And you do it with rhythm. So let's say she's gone in a walk and a walk and a walk, and you're going. Now you're chasing her because you're still asking for something different. So you're like alive and you're chasing her. When she picks up the trot, go neutral again. When you ask for something, you come alive. When you want them to believe that they did the right thing, you go in neutral. Okay? When you want her to break down from the trot, because she'll be ready to trot. That's why I'm telling you kind of in advance. When you want to break down from the trot, you're going to bring a nice wiggle in the line, but not be rude, because you want her to stay out there. And it's different from the, excuse me, trying to talk to you, right? It's a slow down, and you can say walk. When she walks, go neutral. Okay? If she looks at you, which she might, is that enough? Is that what you want? Say, I do want you to keep walking. Okay? This way she asked you a question, you had an answer. If she turns and faces you, say, oh, I'm sorry, that's not really what I wanted. Can you walk again? Okay? Always assume you're having a conversation. Good. Yep. She's a good little pony. And she woke up. She has some energy in her feet. We just had to find it. Which I'm sure you've seen it before, but yeah. Good girl. We finished yet? She's like, yeah, I'll like you tomorrow.
It's 4 o'clock.
What's that?
It's 4 o'clock.
Yep, we're done anyway. Oh, my neck wants to crack.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So like yielding the hindquarters,